things are moving really quickly. We're still a full 3 months away from election day. And in spite of that, it feels like a week is passing every single day. You know, things are happening so quickly. I mean, to believe that within a month we had Biden drop out, Kamala take place, picking Tim Walz, the whole weird thing really kicking off, the couch thing sort of like elevating the discourse, and the Republican Party responding to it by being even weirder in response. Massive downturn for Donald Trump, poll number shifting, the assassination attempt. Yeah, it's insane. And honestly, of all those things, the assassination attempt is like the least important of them. Crazy how little of an impact that had, huh? You know, maybe what Shinzo Abe's assassination has taught us is that we're living in an era where no one cares anymore, because Shinzo Abe was assassinated, and afterwards people were like, yeah, guess we didn't really like the guy anyway. And then no one cared, you know? Maybe that's just the era that we're living in, you know? Maybe cyberpunk is real. Maybe it just like past a point. It's like, oh yeah, 4 politicians got assassinated today. Yeah. Anyway, spare me the misery watching the entire Donald Trump incoherent stump speech that he did in Montana. Please, God, save me. I want to look at the Aaron Rupar clips. Give me the goddamn... Give me the summary, please.
And send Tim Sheehy to the United States Senate. We're going to evict...
Sheehy. Sounds like gender ideology.
We're going to evict crazy Kamala. Do you know, ever hear of Kamala? Radical left. Radical left. Well, she has a couple of things that a lot of people from Montana would like she wants to take away your guns. You like that, right? All right, how about this? She wants to defund the police. Are you okay with that?
That's so true.
She wants to allow millions of people to pour into our border through an invasion, using an invasion process. I don't think so. I don't think that's for you. It's not for me either. It's not for most people in this country. We're going to evict crazy Kamala, and we're going to...
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Trump.
Up to the job. He's not up to it. Neither is Tester up to it. You know, Tester, everyone thinks like he's my best friend. He's never voted for me once, and yet his commercials is, I like Donald Trump very much. I love his pride. I love his border stance. He votes against the border. He voted against funding of the border. He said...
Actually, the entire Republican Party did. Don't forget, when Joe Biden sort of concluded his beef with Texas over the treatment of asylum seekers at the border by having the Democrats push forward a bill that would have massively cracked down on the border, provided more funding for asylum judges, that sort of thing. It was what the Republicans said they wanted. Donald Trump told the Republican Party to vote no on it because he wanted the border to still be a massive problem for the election. That was explicitly the reason why. Donald Trump was like, no, this might actually fix the problem. This might actually significantly limit the number of people coming in, which Joe Biden could claim as a victory. So don't do it.
I love his stance on energy. He voted against our energy programs. He votes against us 100%. He's voted in favor of crooked Joe Biden 100% of the time. He did it last time.
God bless.
With the election, we had the same problem. Do you remember? He comes out, everyone's saying, he really likes your policy a lot. He doesn't like, he's a radical left lunatic, just like Kamala, and we got to elect him. We got to get him in.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's got the hand motions back.
Since becoming a presidential candidate.
I love Newsmax, dude. I love Newsmax so much. They know their audience so well. Literally, here, one half former President Trump, the other half text Trump to 50505 to get $15,000 in free gold and silver. I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. Why'd I click off that?
Since becoming a presidential candidate, she has refused to do a single interview. You know why? Because she's dumb.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's correct. I think Crooked Joe is more correct than say. You're like, all right, ready? Crooked first, right? What do you like better? Crooked Joe?
Is he workshopping? He's workshopping smears on Joe Biden, the guy he's no longer running against. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Keep forgetting how I'm doing this.
I think Crooked Joe is more correct than say. You're like, all right, ready? Crooked first, right? What do you like better? Crooked Joe? Or Sleepy Joe?
They like Sleepy Joe.
Crooked seems to always win. I mean, he's
Really?
a crooked guy.
I felt like that was sleepy to me.
All
What do
they
you
had to
guys
do
think?
is think of it. If he didn't do the debate, he'd still be running. They'd be saying how great he is. He's a brilliant man, a wonderful guy, really at the top of his.
Old man Yowie allegations are not going away, folks. He really, really, really wishes. I have this article up from the New York Times. Is that right behind? No, that's not right behind. Where did that article go? Did I close it? Why would I do something like that? Why would I close that article? That doesn't sound like me at all. I wouldn't close a link when I still need it. That's insane. I'm looking through my links. Where is it? Is this it?
Yeah, it's a bad guy. He just quit, you know. He's quitting.
That's not it.
Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the right. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so fucking bad. So
I just can't imagine.
But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see him, they can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just keep knocking him out, right?
What a gross person. Yeah, no, he's a genuinely vile, nasty person. Nasty lady. Oh, this is the link that I was looking for. Inside the worst 3 weeks of Donald Trump's 2024 campaign. People around the former and would-be president see a candidate knocked off his bearings, disoriented by his new contest with Kamala Harris, and unsure of how to take her on. I skimmed this a little bit. The August 2nd dinner at the Bridgehampton, New York home of Howard Lutnick, the Cantor Fitzgerald chief executive, was a high-powered affair. Among the 130 people who dined under an air-conditioned tent were some of Donald Trump's wealthiest supporters, including Bill Ackman, and Omid Malik, the president of another fund, 1789 Capital. Some guests hoped Mr. Trump would signal that he was recalibrating after a series of damaging mistakes. He did not. Before the dinner, answering a question that voiced concerns about the upcoming election during a small roundtable discussion inside Mr. Lutnick's house, Mr. Trump said, "We've got to stop the steal," referring to 2020. Race baiting. Trump showed no regret, saying he was right to claim that Kamala Harris isn't black. Gotcha. In that article, it says Republicans have been doing private polling in Ohio, and it appears to show that Trump is now below 50% in Ohio. If Trump lost Ohio, that would be insane. That would be insanely funny. That would be insane, though. That would be wild. What part of the article refers to that? Let's see. People around Mr. Trump see a candidate knocked off his bearings. A foul mood. At the August 2nd dinner, Mr. Trump told donors that the news media had been incorrectly suggesting that he had mellowed since the assassination attempt. "I'm not nicer," he said, according to one person in attendance. Another said Mr. Trump described himself as angry because they, unspecified adversaries that the attendee took to mean Democrats, had first tried to bankrupt him, then kill him. Called Miss Harris nasty on Fox and Friends and a bitch repeatedly in private. Me too, no worries. Might scale back support of Donald Trump. Mr. Trump dismissed out of hand the donor's suggestions that he replace Mr. Vance in the ticket. That's funny to think about. But Mr. Trump privately asked his advisors whether they had known about Mr. Vance's comments about childless women before Mr. Trump chose him. Ooh. And at the August 2nd fundraiser, according to two people with knowledge of what took place, when a donor at the roundtable discussion asked about Democrats trying to paint the Republican ticket as weird, Mr. Trump replied, "Not about me. They're saying that about JD. I mean, to an extent, JD Vance does come across as weirder than Trump. Trump is a more familiar kind of freak show." Ohio. Do you think he's trying to use JD as a shield? I mean, to an extent, but he doesn't want to swap JD out. It would make him look really weak and stupid. Here we go. Two private polls conducted in Ohio recently by Republican pollsters, which Mr. Trump carried in 2020 with 53% of the vote, showed him receiving less than 50% of the vote against Ms. Harris in the state, according to a person with direct knowledge of the data. That's actually not the only good news here with regards to a state that you wouldn't expect to go blue. Hold on. RFK Jr. has been admitted on the general election ballot in Texas. Now, I still think it's most likely that RFK Jr. drops out and endorses Donald Trump, But if he's present on the November ballot, it is not impossible that we win Texas. And that's not a joke, purely because we know for a fact that he's mostly pulling votes from Trump right now. Can he drop out when he's on the ballot? Is he not removed from the ballot if he drops out? Is he permanently there, even if he drops out? Just barely made his way in. The office sent a letter to the campaign certifying Kennedy's petition containing 122,000 valid signatures, about 9,000 more than the 113,000 he needed to get on the ballot. He's permanently on the ballot now. Whew! Folks, congratulations. Blexus is in the game. I'm not joking. You know, Texas is not as red as people pretend it is. It might be a stronghold for Republicans, but it is not. It is a thin margin. And we would have won in 2020 had it not been for systemic disenfranchisement. Having Kennedy there might pull away just a few percentage points necessary. If we win Texas, by the way, it doesn't matter. We win the election. Texas government officials will decertify Biden's victory. Oh, we will immediately see a constitutional crisis. Texas election officials will immediately declare, if somehow Biden, you mean Kamala, if Kamala somehow wins in Texas, they will immediately go like, yeah, Hamas, the Taliban, whatever, they did this. It's not real. It's not valid. It's fake. 1 billion illegal votes. We're not counting it. And it would immediately land us all in hot water constitutionally. But Kennedy is on the ballot so far in 16 states, including the battlegrounds of Michigan and North Carolina. I don't expect him to play a huge role in Michigan and North Carolina, but what do I know? Texas, though, is huge. Last month, the Texas Democratic Party indicated it may sue to keep Kennedy's name off the state ballot. No. Don't interrupt your opponent when they're making a mistake. You don't understand. Maybe they're not aware of the fact that he's mostly pulling votes from the Republicans. Why do you think RFK will drop out if he's gotten this far? Because he's a stooge for the Republicans meant to pull votes from Joe Biden. Though he might have gone AWOL. Many such cases. He's already gone AWOL by dropping out of the Democratic race. He's already, exceeded his purpose. My God, that could be huge. But yeah, the margins are a lot closer than people think. In 2020 in Texas, 52.06% against 46.48%. Now, that is a pretty significant difference, but you'll notice this doesn't add up to 100, you know? There were other votes cast that weren't for Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and we also had mass systemic disenfranchisement in the numbers of hundreds of thousands of people. I don't think blue Texas is guaranteed. I'm just saying that it's on the table if a significant enough people, Republicans, go to the ballot box, see Kennedy there, and they're like, well, I don't really like Trump. You know? What's the relationship to Kennedy? Kennedy supporters are mostly independents or Republicans. Look at the Poly Market polling in 270 to win. Let's see. This is going off the Poly Market polling. So they think Georgia will go red. They think Pennsylvania, Wisconsin will go blue. I agree with that. Nevada will go blue. Okay, Arizona red. But in this, we still get PA. So that's that then. Poly Market odds, a narrow win. This shit's going to be so close. I really hope that it isn't. I don't want a close victory. I want a blowout. And there is good news. Basically every successive day since Kamala Harris has announced her candidacy over Joe Biden, we have gotten better and better and better news with regards to polling. Again, a devilish invention, yes, but in aggregate, we can learn something from it, especially when compared to, oh, that's right, by disabling JavaScript, I disable the visual element of the polling. God damn it. I can give a gift article. No, that's okay. I just want you, everyone, do this and imagine numbers that look good for Kamala Harris. Just do that for me, okay? We could also just go to 538. New battleground polls show Harris has fundamentally changed the race. Well, that's nice. 538, give me the deets. Should we imagine Assad numbers are just generally good? Whatever makes you happy, you know? I don't want to take that from you. In the poll, at least 49% of likely voters in each of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin say they have a favorable view of her, a level neither Ms. Harris nor Mr. Biden obtained in any previous Times Siena poll this cycle. Views of Mr. Trump haven't diminished. In fact, his favorability have ticked up slightly, up to 46% across the 3 states, but still lower than hers. It's 50-46 in all 3 states. Nice. The 538 map is still down. I wasn't checking the 538 map. I was just checking the 538 aggregate polling lists. I've heard good arguments that referring to women candidates by their first name is a misogynistic habit. It is, and Trump does it literally nonstop. Yes. Well, to be fair, he also called Joe Joe all the time, but I still think that he plays around with Kamala Harris's name more often than he does Joe Biden. We don't need to substantiate the accusation that Donald Trump is a misogynist, though. You know, we don't need to put much effort into that one.
That's correct. I think Crooked Joe is more.
Workshopping.
Joe is bad. Joe couldn't hear. He couldn't do anything. It was an embarrassment to that art form. That was an art form. It was an embarrassment. Kamala, sometimes referred to as Kamala. You know, she got about 9 different ways of pronouncing the name.
Shit like this.
And because the press is so dishonest, no matter how you say it, they'll say you were wrong. You were wrong. I don't care if I get it right. Actually, I couldn't care less. Couldn't care less.
It's wild that they're pulling this, like, this foreign name is too difficult to pronounce with Kamala Harris, you know? We better get 4 more years, or we're not going to have a country left if we don't get 4 more years. We're going to not have a country left. That's true.
He couldn't beat me now. I mean, after the debate, he was down, way down in the polls.
He's still talking about Biden. How much does he talk about Biden?
So they said, we're going to take him out and we're going to put somebody new in. This never happened to anybody before. We spent $100 million fighting Crooked Joe Biden, and then all of a sudden they decide to take him out and put somebody else in. She never got 1 vote. She was the first loser in the primaries. You know, she ran against Joe Biden and everybody else. I think they had like 16 people running. She never made Iowa the first state. I love Iowa. You know why I love it? Because I win it every single time with the farmers. We win it. But she never made Iowa. She was the first one to quit. And now, and stupid, honestly, she was the nastiest to him, too, and then he picked her. I couldn't believe it. And she was part of the cabal that got him out. You know, they got him out. They said, we'll do it the nice way, or we'll do it the hard way, Joe. We'll use the 25th Amendment, and we'll call you mentally incompetent, and everybody will believe us. And, you know, what they did is a terrible thing, actually. They forced him out. It was a coup. We had a coup. That was the first coup in the history of our country. And it was very successful. He said, okay, I'll leave. If that's what you want, I'll leave. And now he's seeing what the competition is. I hear he's going to make a comeback at the Democrat convention. He's going to walk into the room.
Oh, my God.
And he's going to say, I want my presidency back. I want another chance to debate Trump.
I can't believe it. He's relitigating that Truth Social post, but live. Not how you spell campaigning, but it's okay. The Joker didn't have a formal education. He was just a little Gotham street rat and wannabe comedian. He's so bitter. It's genuinely extremely strange. Again, the like cumulative word from behind the scenes with the Trump campaign is just that he's dejected, he's angry, he doesn't know how to respond to Kamala Harris. He's upset by the shift in polling. He's upset by the weird thing. I mean, he hasn't been doing campaigning. You know, he's got 2 events upcoming. To cap off the weekend. He's got 2 fundraisers, and both of them are in states that he's not fighting for. One of them's in Colorado. What's the other one? Isn't this campaigning? There was this in Montana. Montana wasn't. No one cares about Montana. We're not fighting over Montana. Wyoming, yeah, he was. It's fundraisers, you know. Meanwhile, Kamala and Walz are like running a tour of all the battleground states. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. They're in Arizona the other day, Nevada today, right? Yeah, they busy. They busy. It probably helps that Tim Walz and Kamala Harris are both 60, you know, relatively young as politics goes, and Donald Trump is, I don't know, 100, maybe thereabouts. Yeah, my family went to the one in Arizona. I hope they had fun. Did you see Trump claiming Joe Rogan will get banned by UFC fans because he endorsed RFK Jr.? Yeah, I saw. It's pretty funny. My man gets bitter real fast. And of course, Joe Rogan instantly walked back the RFK Jr. endorsement, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People aren't enthusiastic about Trump. That's the thing. That's the major difference. That's the key distinction. When Joe Biden was the Democratic frontrunner, there was no energy for him whatsoever. And honestly, there wasn't that much energy for Donald Trump either. A lot of people on both sides were unhappy with the, with the candidates offered to him. I think even right now, only 79% of Republican voters are happy with their choice of candidate. That's 21% of Republican voters who aren't happy that they have no choice to vote for anyone but Trump. Those people are potentially RFK Jr. voters if they are in swing states where his name is on the ticket, you know? Yeah, he might end up eating up a decent number of otherwise Trump-leaning but kind of undecided votes. I don't think that's going to happen much for Kamala Harris. I saw a post this morning that people are complaining Harris and Walz are giving the same speeches. Is that normal / a bad thing for the election? Yeah, some right-wingers are saying that there's like a conspiracy because Kamala Harris is repeating the same speech. It's called a stump speech, and it's the most normal thing in the world, and every politician does it, including Donald Trump. Donald Trump gives basically the same speech every time. It's just like that. It's like Republicans are basically like, why are Kamala Harris and Tim Walz standing behind a podium? What are they trying to hide? Are they trying to hide their genitals? There are children in that crowd. Why do they feel the need to hide? Are they doing something? Like that, unironically, that is what they're doing. That is the level that they're operating on. Like if you saw a viral tweet from Laura Loomer where they're like, why are they standing behind a podium? That's roughly the level they're on at the moment, you know? It's called a stump speech. Incredible stuff, really.
That's a few months now. The numbers are much worse. They've let an invasion of our country happen. But I took a look. And because I took that look, I mean, what are the chances of that? So I just want to thank everybody, because I'll tell you what, the level of love and compassion and all of the things that we all went through, that was a terrible thing. And we're going to be very careful.
What the f is he talking about? Yes, I saw these, where in all of these swing states you have very favorable oh wait, this is just today. The New York Times polling, yeah. Harris +4 in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Well, if these end up being accurate, that's the election right there. That's a victory. This right here is a victory. Easy as. This is yeah, from yesterday, not today. Yeah, this is the New York Times polling from earlier. Trump campaign got hacked. What got released? And then you see over here in the if Kennedy and Stein are included in the polling, Harris still wins out by a significant margin in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Yeah, I saw the article. I'm asking for a summary. Is Stein just going to do this for the rest of her life? I hope not. I saw this on Twitter and I couldn't agree more. If you have aspirations for a third party, but you don't run any local elections, you don't do anything down ballot, and you only jump in the presidential, I'm going to assume that Russia paid you to spoil votes for the Democrats. That's it. Literally, that's it. You will never get a third-party platform built off of just doing a Hail Mary every 4 years. That's insane. No one thinks that will actually work. It's entirely done either to be a deliberate spoiler candidate or because you just want book deals and attention. That's it. Jill Stein isn't even on the ballot in 28 states. Yeah, no, she's a joke. She's a waste of life. Stein was literally in a gala in Moscow with Putin in 2015. Yeah, that's not the only connection the Green Party has to them. The only effect, listen, okay? The purpose of a system is its outcome. Okay? If laws that are ostensibly about targeting drug use end up massively disproportionately targeting people of color, that was the purpose of those laws. That was what they are there to do. If the outcome of Green Party running fruitlessly every 4 years is merely to pull votes from Democrats, then that is the purpose of them running. That is it. He did not invent that term, Velvet Benoit. You embarrass me.
Walz said that socialism is just another word for neighborliness. She wants to be, he calls them neighbors, good neighbors. He signed a bill to give illegal aliens free health care. He abolished Columbus Day. He ordered tampons to be put into boys' bathrooms.
The hack obtained opposition research on J.D. Vance from his interview process, a 271-page document entitled Potential Vulnerabilities. We'd love to have a 271-page document entitled Potential Vulnerabilities, don't we, folks?
Do we have any children here? Please close your ears. He ordered tampons in boys' bathrooms.
The belief that a tampon is a sexual item is pedophilia. I'm saying it. I'm casting my dice onto the table and I'm saying it. It's a hygiene product. Like, people have anal sex. Is toilet paper a sex object? You people are freaks. It's genuinely insanely weird. What are you talking about? They're putting toilet paper in the kids' bathrooms. What are they doing? What are they doing with their butts? What are you talking about? It's toilet paper. It's a tampon. Jesus Christ, you people are weird. Weird! Weird!
Okay? He signed a law letting the state kidnap children to change their gender so that they go home. But I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about her. This is her ideology. That's why she picked him. And he signed a bill allowing pedophiles to claim human rights protections under the state law.
Without investigating the substance of the claim, I'm just going to guess that that's not true. Aren't tampons just little cotton things with a cable attached? Kuriochi, I pride myself on being, like, this community is an educational space for people from all ages and backgrounds. So I'll answer without any of the derision chat's about to offer you. Yeah, basically. I guess if I didn't intend for there to be any derision, I could have not read the message out loud. I guess I sort of milked that for a little bit of content, but that's okay, you know, yeah, basically. It's not really a cable, but, you know, it's, yeah, you've got the idea.
And then he said, by the way, J.D. Vance is doing a phenomenal job. But then he said, well, think of that. Think of the things I just said. Then he said, you know, I think J.D. Vance is weird. You know, it's a word that they use. I think he calls me that too. No, we're not. We're very solid people. We want to have strong borders. We want to have good elections. We want to have low interest rates. We want to be able to buy a house. We want great education.
What are you going to do for any of that?
Have low interest rates. We want to have strong borders. We want to have good elections. We want to have low
good elections. They mean elections where they win.
Interest rates. We want to be
low interest rates are dictated by the Fed.
Able to buy a house.
What are you going to do to make it easier to buy a house? Like, genuinely, what are you doing about that?
We want great education.
You want to abolish the Department of Education.
We want strong borders.
You already said that.
I think we're I think we're the opposite of weird. They're weird. You know what they do? They work with the press on coming up with a soundbite, just a soundbite. And every station that night, all the networks, CBS, ABC, NBC, they all said, oh, they were called weird.
This really got under their skin. Like, genuinely, it's crazy how, like, in the history books, they're going to be like, you know, famous American presidential campaign strategies. You know, you've got the We Like Ike. You know, you have, you know, hope and change with Obama. You have the they're weird argument from Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. It's like, yeah, it was pretty effective. It really got under their skin.
It's unbelievable. You know, it's not a word that's really used too much in politics, but
why does weird work better than basket of deplorables? For one, deplorables is a coastal word. It's a wacky coastal word. You know, too many syllables. For two, basket, too folksy. It's incongruent. Third, deplorables is a moral statement. Bad people love being told they're bad people. They love it more than anything else. There's nothing a belligerent fascist loves more than being told they're a monster. They love that shit. They jerk off to the thought of it. They don't like being called weird because fascists pretend to be normal, even though they're not normal. They're very, very weird, but they can't stand being told they're weird because the appeal to fake normalcy is their main selling point. They're like, you know what's really weird? Acknowledging the fact that some people are gay. Even though all of human history, some people have been gay, it's an, like, absolute objective fact, and they cause no harm to other people by virtue of being gay. Like, that's the weird thing. You know what's not weird? Me making Wojaks of, like, white women having sex with black men and saying that this is what we need to prevent by changing our immigration policy. That's not weird. Me introducing my, like, interracial cuckolding fetish to geopolitical analysis, that's not weird. That's normal, actually. It is not weird for me to employ my fetish, my like Q Black Spade New World Order, all white men are being feminized through the water supply and all black men are 7 feet tall with 4-foot dicks, to my geopolitical analysis. You know, that's normal. And to anyone who watches me who thinks, what the f is he going on about? Please, God, go on Twitter and look at how right-wingers talk about immigration or black people for 5 minutes. If it takes you 5 minutes to find some kind of interracial cuckoldry reference, joke, Wojak, or whatever else, I'd be surprised. 5 minutes to me, that's enough. Like, I feel like that should be enough time for you to find like 10 of them. What is Vosh on about? I'm just a mirror, man. I'm just the moon. I'm hovering in the night sky, reflecting the broiling racism and weird sexual insecurities of the right into your ear holes. You know, I'm not the source of it. I'm a river to my people.
It's a terrible thing that they can do this. It's just a soundbite. No, J.D. Vance is a great patriot, and he's a United States Marine, and he's a real Marine.
Oh yeah, Elon Musk tweeted it literally a second ago. Found this pic of the UK justice system. Literally, this is from Elon Musk today, just a few hours ago. Gangbang interracial porn, it's like immigration. There you go. There, that's all it took. It's the richest man in the world. There you go. That's all it took. You don't have to go looking for some 4-follower Andes or whatever. It can just be him, the guy who owns the website. Get it? See? It's 4 huge black guys and a white girl who looks like she's 14 years old. Wow, interesting. Thank you, pornography. And then down here, you've got 4 guys who look Muslim and a white cop. And these are the same because, like, you know, letting non-white people into your country is like, you know, when you let white teen girls get by black men, you know, or something. 250,000 likes. Doing great. So we can just call him a white nationalist now, right? I'm sure that Elon boosts and agrees with Nazi propaganda all day, every day, coincidentally. So I wouldn't call him that.
Marine, and he's a brilliant guy.
That's so true.
And we picked somebody that was very special, and he's really stepped up. I said, you got your sea legs, you know, because the first day they were hitting him with a lot of nonsense. And he's got his sea legs now. He's going to be great. I think don't we like him? And he's for the working man and woman.
And woman.
Tim Walz is the man who's very freakish. He's very freakish. If Comrade Walz and Comrade Harris win this November, the people cheering will be the...
This might shock you, but the Tim Walz pedophile protection law is fake. Really? The bill in question was an amendment to the state civil rights law that edited the definition of sexual orientation to remove the inclusion of identities not traditionally associated with one's biological male or female traits. So it's a trans thing again. Hey, guys, little concern on official RNC talking points being literally any inclusion of trans people as pedophilia. Like, it's gone beyond just teaching trans issues to kids. And now it's just like even the acknowledgement of their existence is pedophilia. Yeah, it's going good, you know? I have never been more vindicated than for my insistence on using the term transgenocide. They might not talk about it as much now because it's not a winning electoral issue with them, the same way that, say, immigration is, but their rhetoric is exclusively eliminationist. There's no version of Republican rhetoric on trans people where it's just like, you know, oh, you're a second-class citizen. It's literally all trans people are pedophiles, comma, all pedophiles deserve the wood chipper. It's not subtle.
Pink-haired Marxists, the looters, the perverts, the flag burners.
He's talking
Hamas
about you guys.
Supporters,
oh,
drug dealers, gun grabbers, and human traffickers.
You guys human traffic? You shouldn't do that.
No, MAGA's a good solid 35% of the party. No, it's 95% of the party, not 35. They used to say that. You know, they're very cunning people. Oh, MAGA's 35, and it was 35, really? No, it's 95% of the party, and I think it's probably 90%. I think the whole country. Who can want, think of it, who wants open borders? Who wants men playing in women's sports?
I'd kick their asses. Like, right now, I'd probably lose to Iman Khalif, sure. But keep in mind, not only is she a woman, she's a welterweight, you know? Eventually, I bet you I train up, I could just through body mass, you know? There's a reason why they're so strict about weight categories for wrestling and boxing. I feel like if I bulked up like 250 pounds or whatever, I feel like I just charge forward like Snorlax, right? I mean, eventually, we're just talking physics, not even skill. Skill-wise, I'm not saying shit, you know? What if she hits you in the chest, though? Can I wear armor? Like plate armor? Is that against the... I don't know much about boxing, even though I boxed for 8 years. No, don't be a pussy. Sexist language, Annie. Okay, hold on. I thought we were progressive here. No, but you can bring guns. All right, okay. We're working our way back up now. Bite off her ear. I don't want it. That's gross. I don't have that sauce, you know? I mean, nothing against her ears. I'm sure they're fine ears. Just, I don't know if I don't know about that one. I don't have that energy in me, you know? I had yogurt for breakfast.
And I'd like to congratulate the young woman who transitioned from a man into a boxer. You saw she won the gold medal. How about the young Italian, beautiful Italian boxer? She got in there and she didn't know what was going on,
and she lost.
She was a very good boxer, you know, against other women. She didn't count on this. And
it's crazy how even in the modern information age, an objectively incorrect statement can still just become the official talking point of half the country for literally no reason other than, well, in this case, it's also Russia. Russia really is the source of a lot of this, isn't it? You know, we're really rooting for Ukraine here. It was a Russian organization led by a guy with ties to Putin who arbitrarily decided that the reason Iman Khalif should be disqualified was because she beat a Russian boxer, and then she was declared to be a man based on opaque testing methods that were never released or substantiated. Is there no concern that if Trump is president, it'll destroy our very good and close relationship with the nation of Algeria? I mean, the funny thing, again, Algeria isn't woke at all, you know? Algeria is you know, you'd think it'd be like an anti-woke nation. If anything, they should be celebrating it. But now we're almost done, folks. Thank God we went with the Aaron Rupar clips, even though he's a dipshit, rather than the full thing.
I think suburban women like me a lot. You know, it's fake stuff. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
By suburban women, he means white women, by the way. This was substantiated back a few years ago. He was talking about suburban women as a direct euphemism for white women. There was something, he was referencing a statistic that was about white women, but he said suburban women. When he says suburban women, he means white women. This is a direct one-to-one. And I think if I recognize this clip, it'll become clear that that's what he means in a second.
You know, I put something in when I was president. There will be no low-income housing developments built in areas that are right next to your house.
Yeah, he means white women. What do you think he means by low-income housing developments? Oh, by the way, he's going to make it easier to buy a house, even though he's apparently against mixed-income housing, you know?
You have a house in the suburbs, you're so proud, and then they want to build a low-income job with a 30-story building next to your house. And your house is worthless. And
I wonder if this directly connects to any kind of like historical language on racial politics, you know?
I stopped it. And then they say, well, I don't think suburban women like him. I think they like me.
Suburban women. Again, like, can you be more transparent, dude?
I'm going to keep criminals out of your neighborhood. That's really all that matters. Low-income housing, comma, criminals. If he says thugs, too, I mean, we can get the trifecta, you know? It's like painting through negative space, right? Like, how much can you define the object at the center of the painting only by drawing the shadows around it? I think they like me anyway.
He's completely given up on the POC vote, apparently. I mean, he was talking about, like, winning with black men at that Mar-a-Lago press conference.
I think they're playing the ref like the great Bobby Knight, right? Play the ref now. They're not putting up with it anymore. What they are doing is, in my opinion, totally illegal. Kamala is grossly incompetent and, in my opinion, has a very low IQ. But we'll find out.
I think he should just say the N-word. He's thinking it. Just come on. Really, let the chips fall where they may. Let this race be defined by your actual beliefs and positions and not by all this pussy bullshit where you pretend. Frankly, I think Black America would appreciate it too, because they would also go, finally, you know? Like, it's not like they're not thinking you are thinking that, you know? They're thinking it. Riverboat Jack is convinced there's a non-zero chance he'll say it at the debate. God, I just want it to be straightforward. I don't like all the artifice. Are you kidding me? Suburban women will protect you from criminal low-income housing development. Come on, man. Just say it. Just once.
Out about her IQ during the debate. Okay, let's find out about her IQ. So, you know, we have this great system I would think they're playing the ref like the great Bobby Knight.
Maybe Kamala should take Kevin Sorbos up on his offer and call Trump the N-word first. Kamala could say the N-word. Did Obama ever say the N-word? He did at some points, didn't he?
They want to do. They're destroying Social Security and Medicare by allowing all of these people to come in on the plan. You earned it. You deserve it. We're going to preserve it for you.
Does anyone actually still put stock in IQ? Yeah, fascists. Well, actually, no. IQ is still accepted as valid in some respects, but people like wildly... There's no such thing as general innate intelligence. That is a facet of the human brain that either doesn't exist or we have no way of detecting it. You can train for an IQ test. If IQ tests are meant to test for your innate intelligence rather than your knowledge, then how can you train for it? You know? We don't have any way of testing that. I don't think there is any such thing. I don't think there's any such thing as like innate intelligence. I think maybe we have innate some people are innately better at learning, but that's still something that's going to be influenced by the amount of knowledge you have access to. And a person who has a very high like innate ability to learn might be limited by, I don't know, playing video games all day, whereas a person who doesn't have a very strong innate ability to learn can still like work their ass off and end up, you know, ahead.
Just the way it is. Thank you. And as you know, I kept my promise for 4 years. And I will keep my promise very easily again. And seniors, as I said, will not pay taxes on their Social Security. That's a big deal. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the lives of our children. We're not going to do it.
There are two races, white and political. We know how it is.
I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. They want to do.
He has said the N-word hard R. Go to 37 seconds. This is the content that I'm here for. Thank you.
Racism, and he uses the N-word to do so. So listen to this.
Racism. We are not cured of.
Clearly.
And it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say nigger in public. That's not.
Kamala Harris, I have a proposition for you. Okay? Dare Trump to say it at the debate with him on September 10th. Say it. Both of you try to say it at the same time. Okay? And we'll see who's not black. All right? Kamala Harris, the American people are calling upon you. We'll say it together. And then, of course, at the last second, she doesn't say it right. She's trying to like, you know how the game is played. You know how the game is played. Trump cope about the New York Times battleground polling results. Oh, they're just full on denying the results. They're just like doing their own math. They're like, well, actually, guys, I have to say it does not look good for a presidential campaign if you have teams making official statements being like, okay, I know this polling data makes us look bad, but it's all fake and not real. That's my line. But I'm not part of Trump's presidential campaign. They didn't respond to my emails. Is Trump doing now what Hillary did then? Well, what did Hillary do? Hillary was annoying, but Hillary never actually like denied the results of the election. She sent emails or something. Oh, she's just like me. This is like I love this shit because MAGA types will be like, yeah, we support the working class. We're tired of the deep state and the elites and Wall Street over the common man. And then they'll be like, Tim Walz doesn't have any stocks, bonds, crypto, real estate, index funds, mutual funds, private equities, or retirement accounts. He's financially illiterate. It's like, oh, wow. You were completely full of shit the whole time. That's crazy.